Hey, what's up everybody? Rod J back again. Thanks for swinging by to check out another video. Time to take a look at another beer, and this is actually one I haven't looked at in a long time. I'm taking a look back at one that I think the first time I had it was back in high school. And this is actually the St. Pauli Girl Lager from St. Brauerei out of Germany. And it is a Helles Lager. And happened to see this on the shelf when I was picking up some beers. And I said, you know what? That'd be a nice one to have a little throwback with. So decided to grab it here so I can share it with you guys. This one comes in with an ABV of 5%. And it's interesting because sometimes you hear about the beer being in green bottles, not lasting as long. Obviously, it's how you store them as well. But this has a best before date of 10/20/20, and we're only February 22nd. So they say it should last a good amount of time. Obviously, if you put this out in pretty much sunlight beaming down on it, it can affect the beer inside. But just one of those curious things that popped in my head as I was thinking about this beer, like, you know, for what it is and the ABV and the type of style. It's got a pretty good timeline on it, and it is, of course, brewed in strict accordance with the German purity law of 1516, the Reichsgebot. So let's go ahead and get this baby open and get it into a glass. For this, I'm just going to use a nice little mug to enjoy this one and talk about it a little bit. Nice blast from the past. And while you're watching me pour this one here, if there's any beers that you remember from back in the day you used to really enjoy, put some comments in the comments section. Let me know what some of them may be. If there are ones you might even think about going back and trying at some point, just because it's been a while since you've actually had the beer. Might have been some of the first beers you were having since high school. But check it out in the mug. You got that great clarity you expect with this beer. Lots of carbonation, the bubbles streaming right through. It has that nice golden yellow color that you associate, of course, with the style and for this type of beer. And the head itself came out to be, came out of almost a finger. It's kind of half a finger there now, or maybe a third of a finger. But nice white head. Aroma-wise, I'm actually picking up some grassiness coming off the beer. One of the things you can pick up sometimes with this style is a little bit of a sulfur type base, and I will say I do get a little bit of that in the nose as well, but it also has a nice pulling of the hops that were used here, kind of a little bit of a freshness in there, but I'm getting that yeasty aroma also from the yeast that was used. Kind of comes together in an interesting kind of way, almost with a little bit of a funkiness to it, so to speak. But kind of remember from when I had this back in the day, brings back a little bit of that memory. Kind of a barnyard type feel like you'll get on some lagers. I used to say kind of like that, a pissy type feels like that, but I don't really use that term anymore. It almost has an after effect of like a burnt mark. It almost has an after effect of like a burnt match type feel to it, which is kind of funny, but very interesting taste wise. Definitely pick up that yeast type feel with the beer, with this type of lager. Not too much of a drying effect on the beer, but you do have a little bit of a astringent type feel on the back end of the finish. That yeast type feel with the sweetness of the malts is kind of lingering around in the mouth. This type of style to me always, from aroma to taste, almost gives me like a, and you'll hear sometimes in beer, like a barnyard type feel. Get a taste of the grain that was used here in the undercover and base for the beer. Leaves a nice duration of the flavor over a point of time as well. Can definitely pick it up lingering in the cheeks. Light body in beer. An easy one kind of going down, a little bit of a thirst quenching type effect. You feel that carbonation when you take the bigger gulps of the beer. You really feel it going down the throat. The cheeks are opening up a little bit more with action as I take some of the bigger drinks out of it. I get a nice little bit of a tingly effect in the mouth itself and in that cheek area. And it does what it's supposed to do. You know, St. Pauli, they've been making this beer a long time. It definitely meets over a period of time with people still enjoying this. You don't see it as many locations, I believe, as you used to, of course. With the abundance of other beers we have out there, I picked this up. It was at one of my more specialty shops that has a good international selection. But a lot of my main places, I don't really come across it as much. I thought it'd be a nice, interesting way to check this one out. But if you're a fan of the Helles type lager style, you think of something like the Euro lagers, like say Heineken, this is actually one that does fit out there nicely. A nice one to kind of revisit, get you a little bit of a taste on. It could be a nice one to finish after you're doing things like cutting the grass or things around the house. You just want a refreshing type beer. This one can definitely do that for you. But a nice little trip back down memory lane. And if you've had this one before, let me know what you think of it. Put some comments in the comments section. Let me know. It's not going to be something that's going to knock you back heavily. But for those of you that do enjoy a nice lager, the way lagers were meant to be under the Reichsgebot and the old purity law, I think you will not be disappointed with this one as much. This is what it was supposed to do back in the day. And this again, the St. Pauli Girl Lager, still can find it out there, 5% ABV, and a blast from the past, as I mentioned. Thanks for swinging by to check out another video. If you like what you saw, remember to hit that like button, of course, and subscribe, and to be aware of other uploads as they happen. Make sure you hit that alarm bell so that way you're also notified. Look forward to catching up with you guys soon. If there's beers you want me to try, make sure to leave me a comment for that as well. That all being said, look forward to catching you next time. Keep drinking those good craft beers, and remember, there's always time. Get your beer on. Cheers, everybody.